Just a few minutes, President Trump will be hosting a White House dinner for Democrat leaders Charles Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. This after Democrats have gone after President Trump in every way imaginable, calling him unfit for the presidency and claiming that his campaign colluded with Russia. But so far, none of these attacks are working. Focus groups and polling suggest that despite all of these attempts to derail President Trump's image, it's a difficult path for the Democratic Party heading into this midterms and even the 2020 presidential election. Here to discuss, Lee Carter, GOP communication strategist, and Adriana Cohen, Boston Herald columnist now. Lee, this is what you do for a living. You poll people, you test people, and it's really amazing because the media, overwhelmingly, all the press has been negative with President Trump. And they hit him at every single turn, and they cannot dent his support, particularly that core support.
It has been fascinating to watch because they're looking at the same playbook that they used the election, which is try to take down Donald Trump at all costs. And it did not work then, and it will not work now. I think the thing that people need to understand is this was as much a vote against the establishment, against Republican establishment and Democrat establishment as anything else. So if they're going to try to take down Donald Trump, they're going to have to come up with something that you stand for. They're going to have to come up with an alternative to, something that is not establishment, and they just don't have that. They are representing everything that is wrong with politics right now when they're trying to do this, and it's just simply not going to work.
Right. Adriana, the Congress, the media, all of these entities that consistently go after President Trump, their numbers, their approval numbers are significantly below his. And this, to Lee's point, just does not work.
Exactly. You think that Democrats and the biased left-wing media would learn. They attacked President Trump relentlessly during the campaign, yet he still won. And so you'd think they would change their playbook at this point. And then add to it, they've lost several special elections to Republicans, in Georgia, in South Carolina, Kansas, and Montana. Republicans keep winning. So you would think at this point they need to shift gears and find a better message to connect with voters. And they failed to deliver one so far. And I also think voters have gotten smart. They know President Trump is got the deck stacked against him when it comes to biased media, and they see how unfair it is. And they're actually, thinking for themselves or looking at all the great results he's had so far in his presidency. He's created over 1 million jobs. So they see the facts, not the left-wing political spin.
And speaking of playing 4D chess, if you will, and being ahead of everyone else, now President Trump turning on the charm defensive, right? Bringing in Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and cutting deals with the Democrats, that further mitigates any sort of platform, right, Lee, that they can say this is a guy who's intransigent. He's working with you a lot more than Barack Obama worked with Republicans.
There's no question. He is really, really being smart right now. At first, I think people were looking at it. Why is he talking to Schumer and Pelosi? Well, it's really smart because one of the things that we've heard from voters is they're tired of politics as usual. They want Republicans and Democrats to come together and find compromise. Donald Trump did that last week. He's doing it tonight by inviting them over. His messaging on tax reform, really, really interesting, focused on both the middle class, the wealthy are not going to get richer. We're really going to create more jobs. It's a very Democratic message, even though we don't yet know the plan. So I think it's really interesting to see how things are being switched up. He's playing this very, very well, and let's see how it plays out.
He is indeed, right, Adriana?
What's that, Charles?
He is playing this very well. I mean, it's he seems to be one step ahead of all the political pundits.
Absolutely. And, all Americans, whether you're Republican or Democrat, we want our leaders in Washington to solve our very serious problems, our broken healthcare system, jobs, keeping us safe. The list is very long of important issues. And we want both, Democrats and Republicans working together. And when we see our president reaching out and trying to compromise and be bipartisan, every American knows this is a good thing. It's going to help us solve, move our.
In her new Halloween costume.